All right, so it's 9:30. I think I'm live right now. Welcome, everybody. Thank you all for joining. This is round two of Division 3 of the Midwest F1 League. I'm sure we'll be having quite an enjoyable session tonight at my beloved Suzuka. This is one of my top two favorite tracks in the whole calendar. So I especially will be enjoying this session quite a bit as we have 20 drivers ready to go. So we should be starting any minute now. Thank you all for joining. This is Elbows Out Racing streaming for you tonight here again at round 2, Division 3 of Midwest F1 League. Hopefully we'll see some quite a close and clean racing tonight. Happy to be here, excited for this session. We should get started in a minute, so let's go through the format of tonight's session real quick. So we'll have a short quali, I think it's 18 minutes for the drivers to place or to set their quickest lap for the grid to be set for the 50% race. I think I'm not sure how many laps exactly. I know it's 50%. We'll see in a minute. This is round 2 of the Division 3. So the first round was at Abu Dhabi. Let me check out the standings as of right now to go through them real quick as the drivers get ready for the quali session. So currently, the driver standings, we have Aerod Racing Design with 64 points leading the championship. We have then Ray E46 at second place. Then we have Jcast at P3 with 54 points. Then we have VTech P451, Pork Chops P5 with 49 points. Following him, we have Silent Banshee, 47 points. Then we have A Wild Maida. I apologize if I am pronouncing that incorrectly. 44 points for P7. In P8 we have Hotspot with 42 points. P9 we have GSR Edwin with 40 points, and then Chief Braids with 38 points, P10. The scores are quite close. Of course, we only have one race in. As the drivers get started, 18 minutes they have to place their quickest lap possible. Good luck, everybody. Hopefully we'll see some exciting racing. As the first driver out, let me show just real quick the full track map, and we're ready to go. So if this was a regular 3-stage quali session, the tire compounds would not be relevant in this first session. Since this is a short quali, then this is the interesting part. The drivers will be choosing, like as of the moment they go out the pit lane, what tire compound they will be using for their first stint of the race. So as we see, we're on board here with a Static Hazard, who's decided to go out with the soft compound tire, so he's going with the regular strategy. He's gonna be the first driver to set a time here at this quali session here at Japan, as he goes through the chicane into the line for his quick lap. Let's go on board with him. Into turn 1, then turn 2. He starts with then the assist section, the medical assist section here at Suzuka. So critical to keep a steady speed and get a good exit right after here, this final S, to go into turn 8 and 9. Turn 8 being so difficult, being able to hit that quickly and not, of course, wide, as he goes through the chicane, which is turn 11. Unholy Red Eye, very gracefully letting a static hazard go. As he goes through Spoon there, I think this is the most characteristic turn of all the circuit. Into Spoon now, the straight, the back straight. A few very technical turns we have. In general, Suzuka is a very technical circuit, so it's going to be very interesting to see how the drivers measure themselves, measure the skills, the racing skills and the raw speed skills too, into the circuit. As he goes through the line, it's a 130.08, so 88 hundredths of a second over the 130 mark. So let's see the next driver. So we have that text message going with a 134, with a 130.4 rather. Now we have the Ferrari of Shelley Churchill with a 130.012. Then the AlphaTauri of Keaton Peter sets up a new purple lap with a 129.6. Very interesting fella. Guitarman Can, we have a with a 130.3. That's a quite a decent lap for a medium compound tire, so he's gonna be quite happy with that. After him we have in the medium compound tire Sharia Coleslaw, I'm so sorry, with a 131.01. I'm sorry. Those are the medium compound tires, so it's quite split up. Let me count that real quick. So we have 5, 6, 8, 10. We have 10 drivers in the soft compound tire, and then we have 10 drivers in the medium compound tire too. So very interesting to see how the different pit strategies clash in this 50% race that's ahead of us. Alright, so let's see who else is going through his hot lap real quick. So we have Bornshot, who's just starting his hot lap as he goes through turn 1 and 2. He unfortunately spins. He's got plenty of time though, so nothing to worry about. He'll definitely be aware of that turn in the following laps and the race, of course, as we're right on board Porkshops, as he completes his Sector 2 in his first hot lap of the session. He puts a 1:15.5 as he crosses the line in Sector 2, as he goes through the chicane, which is turns 15 and 16, then turn 17, over the line for a 1:32.5. Decent time. I'm sure he'll not be satisfied with that. He'll want to improve that. As we have many drivers going into the pit lane, let's see who's on. Kid and Peter there saying, "Will I crash from the lead again?" Stay tuned. Let's see what happens there in the race. I'm seeing quite close times there, so I'm really expecting close racing. I'm sure we'll have quite an exciting race ahead of us. Again, Suzuka has a it's very technical in general, so I'm sure we'll have quite a good time here. Let's see who else is in the race. So far, nobody has been able to beat Keaton Peters' time of 1:29.6. The closest someone's been is Shelly the Turtle, who's 4/10 behind him. Hold my thought there. Guitarman Can beats that time. He is currently in P2 provisionally, of course, with a time of 1:30 exactly. That's an interesting time to set. It's almost 4 tenths behind the pole position sitter, but the crucial part there is that he's on the medium compound tires, so extra credit for him on that time set. So I'm sure he'll be pretty happy with that. So the top 5 drivers, but Guitarman, are on their out lap. So let's see who starts the hot lap first. Looks like it's gonna be Static Hazard. So let's go on board him. So we still have 8 drivers that have not been able to place a time so far. So let's see. Of course, the top 10 drivers are not safe at all just yet. We still have 9 minutes and 20 seconds remaining at this session. As I'm being shared the weather report. Thank you very much, Porkchop. Let's take a look. So we have, of course, a dry quali session, and it looks like it's gonna be a dry race too, but 60 minutes in we'll have some important or significant amount of humidity there, up to 50%. So let's see if of course the forecast accuracy is set to accurate to approximate. So let's see if the rain mixes up things a little. Let's see as the Static Hazard goes through Spoon into the back straight, into turn 14, the very quick and critical turn for team. Hopefully we don't see any incidents in the race in that turn. Into the chicane, turn 15 and 16. Into 17, the final turn, up the line. He improves his time, but by 72 hundredths. It's not gonna be enough for him to move up the order, but an improvement is an improvement. So I'm sure he's gonna be somewhat satisfied with that. Of course, not entirely, but good work for him. So let's see if we have any more movement. Shelly the Turtle. There we go. We were wondering. Oh, look at that. So Shelly the Turtle had beaten the pole position time by a few hundredths, like very little gap. And then Hidden Peter, the previous pole sitter, beat that time again with a 1:28.9. That's 6 tenths ahead of Shelly the Turtle. So that's quite a comparable gap. We still have 3 drivers left to put a time. We have Saffron City in the Haas. We have Ray in the Williams, I think. Oh, I think that's the Alpine. Sorry. And PWR Green Reefer also pending to set a time. VTech retired from the session without setting a time, so that's probably gonna mean P20 for him. Let's see if we have any more great movements so far. As we remember, the first ever Grand Prix, the F1 Grand Prix in real life here at Suzuka was in 1987, won by Gerhard Berger, the Austrian driver into Ferrari. This is the race where Nelson Piquet clinched the title back in 1987. So quite a lot of history upon us here at Suzuka. I really, as I said, and I cannot stress this enough, I love this track. It's the one I have the most fun driving, and I'm sure it's the one I'm gonna have the most fun commentating on. Alright, let's see if we can catch some hot lap. Most of the drivers are currently in the pit lane or in an out lap, so I think we're going to be able to catch the Gary's back second attempt here. So we have a retirement too. JC retires from the session. He was able to put a 131.744. I'm so sorry. So we have quite a dangerous retirement there at the Asus. As well, or a stopped car, I'd rather say. We do have a he gets disqualified a wild Maida, so that disqualifies, of course, his time previously set, and I'm sure that ruined the garage back lap. That's unfortunate for him, I have to say, but I think he has some time still. Let me see how much time is left of the session. As we currently are on board hot lap, he was 6/10 quicker than his previous time in Sector 1, so if he keeps up the momentum, he'll be able to improve. Let's see. And I think ghosting is off, so that's unfortunate for Silent Banshee. He'll probably ruin his exit out of turn 11 there. Again, I think he still have time, but of course that's unfortunate. We still have Sharia Coleslaw. He's currently sitting in P11 on the Williams, on the soft compound tires. So it looks like we do have some medium compact tire drivers. The quickest currently is Guitarman Can. Let's see if he goes out with the soft compact tires or if he sticks with the alternate strategy. As Sharia Coleslaw goes through the line, let's see if he improves on his time. He does improve by 4/10, and that puts him up to P8, so that's 4 places up. I'm sure he'll be happy. I want to see. I'm not able to consult what the total session time is because there's I'm not sure if this is a bug or something, but there's a yellow flag that did not allow me to see the total time of the session. We should be 5 or 6 minutes left, something like that, so they have time for a 1 or 2 more attempts, but they do need to hurry up if they want to set a lap. Again, let's go back. Let's check with Saffron City, which has not been able to place a lap just yet. As he goes through the line in Sector 2. He unfortunately did not improve on his time. He's gonna try again, I think. So let's see what the result of that is. Ray, who has not been able to place a time yet, has an invalid lap. We have 1 minute and 20 seconds left in this quali session, so he probably should hurry up. He's got time though, but he do needs to cross the line as soon as possible to start his new hot lap. Then we have PWR Green Reefer, I'm sorry. I changed your name, but as he goes through turn 11, the famous hairpin there, okay, through Spoon, he's on his out lap so far. Let's check with the rest of the drivers. We have Dead Text Message, who's currently sitting in P3, going into turn 16, the final chicane. He goes into the pits. I thought he was going to finish up a lap. As we ride on board Static Hazard, let me see who's attempting a quick lap. Alright, so we're done with the timer in this session, so only the drivers that are currently on a hot lap will be able to set one. We have a new, quite a decent lap from Subtle but Whole. In P3 with 129.7. It looks like Hidden Peter is gonna be unbeaten for his pole position. Let's see if anyone's able to beat that pole position time. It looks like it's gonna be it's gonna be it. I think Chief Braids in the Ferrari is on a hot lap so far. Going into the chicane. Let's see what the time is gonna be. Looks good, but let's see. He's able to improve by 1.5 tenths. That's not gonna be enough for him, unfortunately. It's gonna be P11 for him. And I think we're done. Pretty interesting stuff. Pretty close times too. So Hidden Peter gets pole position on the softs. We have a few drivers on the mediums, the quickest being Guitarman in P5. Quite decent time, I have to say, beating quite a lot of drivers on the soft compound tire, so he must feel pretty good with his time. Then we have PWR with a medium compound tire as well, and then retired we have Born Shed, JC, and then Unholy Red Eye on the medium compound tire. Let's go through the grid order for this race. I hear you, man. Yeah, I really like the alternate strategy. So the order looks like this. So we have Hidden Peter in pole position, Shelly the Turtle P2, Subtle in P3. I'm not gonna read the whole name there. That text message P4. Then we have Guitarman Can P5, Static Hazard P6, Sharia Coleslaw P7, Grim Reefer P8, The Garius Back P9, Silent Banshee P10. That rounds up the top 10. And real quick, the bottom 10, Chief Braids P10, P11, sorry, Pork Chops P12, Canicles P13, Bornshed P14, JSD P15. I unfortunately was not able to finish up the grid order. But here we are, everyone. This is it. 50% race. Good luck to all our 20 drivers. I'm hoping and expecting to see quite close and clean racing, of course. As the drivers get ready for the race, again, this is a 50% race at Suzuka, the classic and historic Japan circuit. We will see some different strategies tonight. Most of drivers on the soft compound tires, but some in the medium. I'm always excited to see different strategies clashing in the race, because it's not always about raw pace, right? So, of course, raw pace is a very important part of being quick, but also planifying the strategy, anticipating safety cars, being consistent. You can be like 5/10 below the best time, but if you're 5/10 more consistently, if you're in that pace more consistently, then you're gonna be overall quicker, and that's what it's about, right? So of course lap 1 is important, but you got to remember that it's a 50% race. There's plenty more opportunities to gain places. Hopefully we will see that. Thank you all for joining again. This is Elbows Out Racing, broadcasting live for you here, Division 3, round number 2 here at Japan, of Midwest F1 League. As we are about to start this session, I'm not sure if we have a formation lap. Let's see. We're almost set for the race. Again, good luck everyone. We do have a formation lap, so we're underway with the formation lap. So again, Suzuka is quite a technical circuit. There's plenty of overtaking opportunities though. We have quite a few. I think the main overtaking opportunity is in Sector 2, Turn 11, the hairpin. But still, we also have the chicane, the final chicane at the end of Sector 3. Maybe into Spoon, but that would need to be quite an obvious spot to overtake. Hopefully no one dive bombs into Spoon. I'm sure not. I'm sure these drivers are quite competent and capable of delivering a good race for all of us. Again, thank you all for joining. Really excited to bring you all this round 2 of Division 3 of Midwest F1 League. This is Elbows Out Racing for all of you. As the drivers go through Spoon on this formation lap, let's take a look at the compound tires. That's really important because if you're not in the top 10, you are free to choose whatever compound you want. If you're in the top 10, then you're locked in with whatever tire you qualified with. But if you're not, then you can choose. So this is gonna be 27 laps around Japan. It's about 45-50 minutes of racing, so I'm sure we'll be thrilled throughout the duration of the race. As the drivers start to form in the grid, we have, let me count real quick, 3, 2, 3. So we have 9 drivers opting for the medium compound tire, and we have 11 drivers going with the soft. We're about to start. Thank you again all for joining. Let's have a decent and thrilling race here around Suzuka. As we wait for the drivers to form. As we have 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and the race is underway. Let's go aboard Kid and Peter, the pole seater. Now we have Shelly the Turtle right alongside into turn 2. Now they start the S's. They still side by side. Let's see who comes up on top. It's Shelly the Turtle, so he's gonna have P1 for the remainder probably of these S's. Let's see the remainder of the field. Do we have any type of incident? We do. We have a virtual safety car right immediately. Looks like it's the AlphaTauri of Silent Banshee. He gets a penalty for a collision with a Wild Maida. He's currently pitting in P13, so I'm not sure what happened there. We also have Guitarman Ken. He retired on the Aston Martin. That's unfortunate for him, as well as for the PWR Green River in the Alpine. So as we go aboard Ray in the Alpine as well, in his teammate is gonna be all out of the race pretty much immediately. That's gonna be unfortunate for both of them, as we do have a full-on safety car. We have a full-on safety car, so the grid positions are gonna be locked in as they are right now. So let's go quickly through them. So we have Shelly the Turtle in P1, Hidden Peter the Pole Eater in P2. Then we have Subtle in P3 on the Haas. On the Mercedes we have Static Hazard P4. Following him is the Dead Text Message in P5. Then we have Sherry Coleslaw in P6. Vicarious Buck in P7 in the Williams. Then we have Chief Braids in P8 on the Ferrari. Then we have Canacles in P9 on the Aston Martin, on the remaining Aston Martin. Then we have Born Shed in P10. Unholy Red Eye, he unfortunately gets a speeding time penalty as he goes into the pit lane. Then we have a Wild Maida in P11 on the McLaren. Then we have JST on the Red Bull. Following him we have VTEC in P13. Saffron City in the Haas, he's P14. Then we have Pork Chops in the AlphaTauri. There we go. Then you have Silent Banshee coming out of the pits in medium compound tires. He's P16. Then we have Ray again as well coming out of the pits in medium compound tires. And Unholy Red Eye rounds up the grid in P18. So the top 7 drivers are on soft compound tires. Let me hide everything so you can see clearly the grid, or the cars rather, during the safety car period. And as soon as the race gets underway, we'll of course put back the grid order, right? As the bottom drivers start catching up to the queue, I'm guessing the safety car will stay out one more lap. Let's see. It's very likely. I don't think it's going in this lap, but let me make sure. As we see the Ferrari of Shelly the Turtle leading the race. Is still P1, right behind the safety car. As expected, the safety car stays out, so probably the safety car is coming in this lap. Do we have any pit stops? We don't. So all 18 drivers are in the track, following the queue. So the race is starting not the best way possible, I have to say, but I'm sure we'll have quite an exciting remaining 24 laps. Yeah, 24 laps and a fraction. Alright. As the safety car goes through turn 9, below the bridge that connects the two sections, or the two main sections of the Suzuka circuit, which is the only circuit in the calendar that's shaped in the form of an 8. So really interesting as well. Not only in F1 but in all motorsport history, I'm sure Suzuka is one of the most classic circuits ever. As we get ready for the green flag again. The drivers, of course, making sure their laps are as warm as they possibly can have them for the race. And there we go, we have the confirmation, the safety car is in this lap. So here we go. As we get started, this is green light. So here we go. The race resumes as immediately Kid and Peter goes side by side with Shelly the Turtle, and then Subtle and Static Hazard joins the party, of course. Let's take a look at the fight for the lead. Looks like Shelly the Turtle has the race lead secured, at least for the next couple of turns. Let's go on board with the AlphaTauri of Kid and Peter. Let's take a look a bit further down in the grid to see how the places are moving. We do have a yellow flag in Sector 1. Looks like it's the AlphaTauri of Pork Chops. Unfortunate for him. I'm not sure what happened there. I'm sure he'll be gutted with that, but he has severe front wing damage, as you can see, so he'll be pitting next lap, or this lap rather, I'm sure. He's got to pick himself up and keep going. There's plenty of race remaining, so I'm sure he can pick up a few places there. So as they go through the back straight, let's see how's everything unfolding. So let's go on board with the Haas. He goes into the chicane. Not the cleanest move, I have to say. It doesn't work, and he moves into the pit lane. Alright, so we have a purple lap, Shelly the Turtle, 134.4. I'm sure that's gonna be beaten either by himself or someone else sometime in the future. So we have quite so as you can see, of course, through the S's, it's nearly impossible to overtake someone. So the drivers are practically as we see a DNF from Kid and Peter. I'm not entirely sure either what happened. That's unfortunate for him. I'm sure he's gonna be gutted. So we have Porkchop managing to get a pit stop. He's gonna go with the medium compound tire. We have a virtual safety car right now. So this has been a race filled with incidents, I have to say. I'm sure the stewards will have a few incidents to check, of course, as we have green lights, and Shelly the Turtle looks like he's going pulling away. He's 3 seconds ahead this Mercedes of Static Hazard. Let's take a look and see whether we have some interesting race fights. We do. We have Bornshed moving into the inside of Chief Braids. He manages to pull off the move into P6. We do have quite an interesting train there between Bornshed, Chief Braids, and a Wild Maida. As they go through the S's. Again, that order is probably gonna stick the way it is, considering the S's are so tricky to overtake in. Let's look at any. I didn't even hit the curve thing, just went straight into the barrier, says Kid and Peter. So sorry about that, but I'm sure that's not the outcome you were expecting from this race, even more considering that you were the pole seater. There's still plenty of rounds to pick it up though, so don't be scores there. So let's turn on the telemetry. I didn't even realize I had it off. I really like to see what the drivers are doing with their car. Really interesting to analyze too. As we see a move there, we do have an incident there as the exit of the spoon. So the Williams of the Gary's back moves down, as well as that text message. Something must have happened there. I unfortunately couldn't catch it. As we go back into the main train, as we're on board the barn shed, we have 5 cars in line there. As barn shed gets into the pit lane, we're on board a Walmeda, who's going side by side chief rates into turn 1, just to get on top. As they go into the S's, then we have the Gary's back in P6, as we see there. Let's go on board him. Then we have the couple Red Bulls of JST and VTEC, as we see Subtle placing a purple lap. Let's see what lap that was. It was at 132.4. No one is in the 132 territory just yet, so Subtle definitely going quickest rather, so far. As we move into turn 11, a main opportunity for overtaking, we don't see much movement there. VTEC trying on the outside of JST, not working though, so he'll be staying behind. Let's see if we see any type of interesting battle as we are completing lap number 7 here at Suzuka. We have 21 laps remaining. Well, technically 20 and a fraction. As we take a look at the tire situation, we have most of drivers have 6 lap old tires. The difference is the compound. So the top 3 have soft tires. So definitely Shelly the Turtle. His strategy or his plan definitely is working for him. He needs to pull away as much as he possibly can in this quick stint with the soft compound tires. Then he will be going into the medium compound tires for the remaining of the race, which of course he'll be looking to gain as much ground as possible right now that he is the quickest. And then behind Sharia Coleslaw in the Williams, we have Chief Rates and a Wild Maida, which is being overtaken by the Garius back, which is on the faster tires. So I'm sure he was eager to go and execute that move as quickly as he possibly could. Looks like he managed to do it. Let's take a look and see if we have any other interesting battle. We do have a Wild Maida, of course, is not giving up. He's staying quite close to the Gary's back, and it's really a train of 5 cars from P5 to P even I'd say 11 that are quite close, even 12. So let's see how those battles unfolds into turn 15 and 16. No overtakes there. Everyone really close together. Let's see how the DRS affects the fights. So as most of you I'm sure might be aware, the DRS in this game is extremely powerful. So I'm sure we'll be able to see plenty of overtakes around or throughout this race with that DRS. We do have only one DRS zone though in the main straight, and that's it. The rest of the track is not with the DRS, so the ERS management is going to be key as well. As we are on board a Wild Maida in P6, as we follow closely the battle for 6th or even 5th, I would say. So we're on board in the Williams of the Gary's back. Let's take a look at a different take of the race, as the drivers are following each other quite closely from P4, I would even say, all the way to P12. The top 3 drivers, as expected really, based on their strategy, are pulling away. Shelly the Turtle is 4 seconds ahead P2. So that strategy is working quite well for him. Let's see how the rest of the race develops. So we have the DRS of the Williams being wide open, getting close to the Ferrari chief brakes is not going to be enough though. The race order is maintained as we on board of the Red Bull of JST. We do have a safety car. We have an incident. Let's take a look what happened. I think it was the McLaren of Bornshed into turn 11, the hairpin, as well as the Mercedes of that text message. He's not out though. The Mercedes is not out. The McLaren is. So that's unfortunate for them. But hopefully the Mercedes is able to pick themselves up and gain as much places as they possibly can. So this is the second safety car of this race. So yeah, let's see. The drivers have the top 7 drivers have 9 lap old tires. So let's see if the drivers with the sub-compound tires decide to pit or not. That's gonna be, now thinking about this, it's gonna be unfortunate for Shelly the Turtle. He was building up quite a bit of a lead, which is gonna be completely wiped out by the safety car. And as expected, Shelly the Turtle, as well as a static hazard, pit outforce medium compound strategy, medium compound tires, as well as Sherry at Coleslaw. So who's staying out? The couple of Red Bulls, we have JST and VTEC. They both are staying out with 10 lap old medium tires. Then we have Unholy Red Eye of the Indy Alfa Romeo also staying out. He's got 8 lap old medium tires too. Around Suzuka, I think the medium tires is expected to last around 13, 14, 15 laps. I'm not sure much more than that though. The tires really get stressed out or into pressure, especially around sector 1 and sector 2. Interesting to see what those top 3 drivers are going to do with their tires in a few laps time. The rest of the grid, everyone pitted. The difference is the compound tires, so everyone is going on the medium tire except Chief Rates, which decided to go with the hard compound tire. So he's going the long run all the way to lap 27. I think the hard compound tires can make it the remaining 18 laps quite easily. 17 laps, I'm sorry. As well as A. Waldmeda in the McLaren also decides to go to the hard compound tires. Saffron City in the Haas also decides to go with the hard compound tires. So again, interesting to see how the different strategies continue to develop throughout the race as we go on board the Red Bull of JST as we complete lap 11 here at Suzuka. Interesting race, filled with incidents though. Hopefully we'll see as fluid race as we can, as these drivers are able to provide. Just right on board. The safety car is staying out one more lap, so we will have green flag probably at the end of this lap. I really doubt we don't have the green lights at the end of this lap. We only have Saffron City pending to catch up with the queue, and pork chops. They will catch up, like, I'm almost certain about that. So based on the fact that all drivers are going to be able to catch up to the queue by this lap, I'm hoping that the car is able to get in this lap. So a Wild Meta requesting for an invite, saying he was disconnected. Let me see if I can. I think I can. I can do that. There we go. Hopefully you'll be able to join there. No problem there. As the safety car continues into lap 12. Now all 16 drivers so far are able to or have caught up to the queue now. So we do have the safety car is going to be in this lap, so we're going to have green lights in a few moments. So let's go quickly through the DNFs. So we have Bornshed of the McLaren, Keenan Peter in the AlphaTauri, PWR in the Alpine, and Guitarman in the Aston Martin. As we have green lights, Gasty is able to get quite a considerable lead into the safety car exit. We have quite an interesting fight here between Shelly the Turtle and Unholy Red Eye. They go side by side into turn 2. As the SS started, Unholy Red Eye manages to go on top. Let's take a look and go on board the AlphaTauri. I'm sorry, the Alfa Romeo. Let's take a look at the rest of the grid. Do we see any incidents? We do have the couple have quite a few cars there have crashed. I'm not entirely sure what happened. It's at least 5 cars affected there. That's unfortunate, of course. Let's take a look at the rest of the grid. What's going on? We have a Wild Meta going side by side with Ray going into Spoon. Let's see who comes out on top. Not an overtaking opportunity for him, definitely there. Let's move up into the order. Do we see any other close battles? We currently don't. We do have Chief Rates right at the gearbox of Cheria Coleslaw, which manages to pull away just a bit into the chicane. Let's take a look. We have Ray side by side with the Garius back. He manages to come out on top. Into turn 1. Let's see, Unholy Red Eye is very close to VTEC. Not enough for a move though, but really, really close. Close enough for VTEC to be right on his toes, I'm sure. Let's take a look at the rest of the grid. We have the Garius back in the Williams, quite close to Ray in the Alpine. Let's see whether he goes for a move into turn 11, the famous hairpin. We do have quite a close fight for P2. JC in the Red Bull pulls away in the lead by 1.5 seconds from his teammate in P2, VTEC. We have a yellow flag. There's plenty of things to catch up with. Let me see if I just want to see how this battle unfolds as VTEC tries to break the toe. As they go into the chicane, we're on board Shelly the Turtle. The AlphaTauri of Unholy Red Eye trying to get ahead, but not quite managing to do so. Do we have DRS? We do not have DRS. We do have DRS just now has been enabled. The Ferrari tries to move ahead side by side with VTEC. VTEC decides to stay back. Unholy Red Eye manages to come out on top in P2. The Ferrari of Shelly the Turtle is sitting currently in P3 as he immediately gets a free. I'm sorry, I misspoke there. A subtle in the Haas gets a 3-second time penalty. Let's see. This is definitely the interesting battle for P2, P3 I'd say, as VTEC touches the gearbox of the Ferrari there. He's probably got some kind of a front wing damage. No moves into turn 11. We do have Unholy Red Eye. That's unfortunate for him. I'm not sure if he touched anyone. That's probably an accident. But he's quite a few places down, unfortunately for him. As JC enjoys a 3.5 second advantage over Shelly the Turtle in P2. Quite an interesting battle for P2. We have a 3, I would say even 4 car train for P2 as they go into the chicane as we start lap number 16. Very exciting race, folks. Quite a few incidents, but I think it's safe to say filled with emotion. As we have DRS, as you can see how powerful the DRS here in this game is. A Wild Mayday is able to get ahead quite easily of the Darius back, and he will stay ahead throughout all of the S's, I'm sure there. So yeah, Japan is, on top of it being quite technical, it does have only a couple of important overtaking chances there into this turn 11 that we're going to encounter as we're on board VTEC. We see a new purple lap by Subtle. It's a 132.009. Let's take a look at that fastest lap. Do we have any other driver in the 132 territory? We do. We do have Shelly Turtle, safety hazard. We do have a safety car. Let's take a look at the incident. Let's see what happened. I'm not entirely sure what caused the safety car, but I'm not sure. I don't think it's going to devolve into a full-on safety car. As we have the race leader JC pitting with 16 lap old medium tires. He's going into the soft compound tires. So the real sprint starts now for the Red Bull driver. He's the only driver that's stopping in this virtual safety car, as well as Unholy Red Eye. The other Red Bull, VTEC, with 16 lap old medium tires, is staying out. So he's in second place, but he definitely has the tire wear disadvantage. He's got 11, or like a static hazard has 11 laps of advantage in his tire wear. So let's take a look. Let's follow as the race gets underway now. The virtual safety car has ended, so we're green lights again. We have quite a few battles going on. We're on board with the Williams of Sharia Coleslaw, which has Ray right at his gearbox. Really interesting to see how that battle unfolds. We do have quite an interesting battle for P1 even now. We have a train of two cars. It's not that much of a train now that I see it better. Let's move into the panoramic view that I like so much in this game. It's just hard to keep up with the battles. Let's take a look at a battle for P13, Saffron, who's got the AlphaTauri of Silent Banshee quite close, 8 tenths behind. So we do have the other Red Bull speeding. VTech is speeding for soft compound tires. He's gonna be down in P probably 10. He's not going to be caught up by the AlphaTauri of Unholy Red Eye. Let's take a look at the Asses. So we have a close battle between the McLaren of A. Walmeda and the Williams of Gregarious Beck. So the Gregarious Beck has the tire advantage. A 6-lap-old mediums is definitely quicker still than the hard compound tires. I think the crossover period is going to start around 12 laps old in the medium compound tires. Around that time, then the hard tire is going to be quicker. So definitely the Gregarious Beck will look or will seek to overtake the McLaren as soon as he possibly can. We have an interesting battle too between Ray and Sharia Coleslaw. Ray on the Alpine, they both have 6-lap-old mediums. Let's take a look who's leading the race. We see Shelly the Turtle in the Ferrari with 7-lap-old mediums. Who's enjoying an almost 2-second penalty, 2-second race lead, rather, from Static Hazard. We do have a new fastest lap. Let's take a look at what the lap is. We have JST with a 1:31.5. So that's the first driver that cracks the 1:31s. That's a pretty decent lap from him. I'm sure he's gonna be happy. That's the sprint. That's the kind of sprint he really needs to get back into the lead of this race potentially. So let's take a look at some of the battles here. We have Ray in P3, who's got Sharia Coleslaw quite close. Not enough for an overtake, but I'm sure quite close. We do have an incident there. We have Unholy Red Eye on the Alfa Romeo, spinning on the S's. Very technical part of the circuit. I think the most technical part of the circuit is key to maintain a constant speed through the S's to be really quick and stable there. And I understand how difficult that can be. So all my respect to these drivers, definitely. As we're on board the former race leader of VTech, I'm sorry, the former P2 before the last virtual safety car. He's got, this is the first lap of his own with the soft compound tire, who's behind Pork Chops with 10-lap-old mediums. So I'm sure VTech is looking to overtake Pork Chops as soon as he possibly can. And this is going to be, as we see the red light of Pork Chops flashing. So both drivers, as you can see, are out of ERS, but the DRS is quite enough to do the trick there. VTech coming up on top the battle. Let's take a look at some more battles. We do have, oh, look at that. We have a battle into the chicane from Silent Banshee defending from Saffron City in the Haas. He manages to defend, but let's see whether he can defend the DRS of the Haas driver. They both have plenty of batteries, so let's see what happens. So the AlphaTauri manages to remain on top. Let's take a look back at the battle for P4. We have Sharia Coleslaw in P4. Then behind we have the Gregarious Beck P5. We do have a yellow flag in Sector 1 momentarily. We're back in racing speed. No major issues there. We have Knuckles in P7 being chased by JC, who is actually the former race leader, who's definitely have the tire advantage. That's what he wanted with his strategy. Of course, have the tire advantage at the end part of the race. Of course, he's gonna make the move. He's still side by side. Is he going to make it count? Let's take a look. Still side by side. He manages to pull up ahead. Good move from JC there, as he moves up into P7, fellas. Interesting race there. Let's see how much far up he's able to get. So we will not probably see any more pit stops unless we have some kind of safety car or something like that. We have a yellow flag in sector 2, right at the spoon. It was the Ferrari's chief brakes, but he manages to pick it up and no major issues again there. Let's take a look at the battle for P4. We have at least 4 drivers battling for P4. They're within a second of each other. As they go through spoon. We do have a yellow flag. Let's take a look real quick. It's the AlphaTauri of Silent Banshee. That's going to be unfortunate for him. He manages to move out of the way and get back on track. So we have that text message beating for P16 right now. Let's take a look whether he can pick it up. We have quite an interesting fight here between Sharia Coleslaw and A Wild Maida. Sharia Coleslaw managing to get up on top, but A Wild Maida manages to outbrake him. And behind them we have JST. So let's see, this is gonna be real interesting to see. Let's keep close eye on these fellas. Of course, going through the S is very little to none overtaking opportunities, but they definitely need to stick close to them to each other for them to have a chance to overtake at turn 11, hopefully. Let's see. Let's be on board at the Williams of Sharia Coleslaw. JST getting close, but not close enough, of course. JST looking to get the better exit. Let's take a look whether let's be on board of the Red Bull driver. Again, he's definitely have the tire advantage. His tires will not probably going to get to a critical point at all in the remaining of the race, so pretty nice pit stop strategy from him. He secured quite a decent pace for the remaining of the race. As we also see the Red Bull of VTEC, which also has pretty fresh tires, but he needs to quickly, or to catch up as quickly as he possibly can to the Aston Martin of Kane Knuckles. So we see VTEC going into the move. I'm sorry, JST going into the move on the inside of Sharia Coleslaw. He makes it count, and he's ahead in P6 now, as he needs to catch up as quickly as he possibly can to A Wild Maida and the Garius Fact in the Alpine and the Williams. I'm sorry. Let's see what else we got. We have Silent Shelly the Turtle comfortably leading this race with a 4 seconds gap to the Mercedes of Static Hazard, which on his own has a almost 4 seconds gap to the Williams or Ray of the Alpine. I'm sorry, of Ray. So P1 and 2 are pretty much alone for at least the next following laps. The real battle, I think, currently is being fought between the Garius Vac in P4, A Wild Maida in P5, JST in P6, and even Sharia Coleslaw in P7. As we see, I'm not sure what's going on here, but Ken Knuckles is battling with a bark marker. That should not. He probably tried to move away, but no major issues there. As we see the McLaren of A Wild Maida powering through the Williams. It's just a proof of how powerful this DRS truly is in this type of circuits that have only one DRS zone, how critical it is to maintain the gap close for you to go to the move in that DRS zone, right? So we're still on board of A Wild Maida as Ray starts to pull off again from the McLaren. So currently the first three places are quite apart from each other, so we're likely not gonna see major moves from there. A well made continue leading up the train, the battle for P4. Let's go aboard JC on the Red Bull. He's definitely needing to catch up to the Williams of the Garus back. I'm sorry. Let's see if he, again, if he manages to stay close within 5/10, I have to say, as he is currently now. As he gets into the DRS zone, he will probably be able to take the Williams. As we see the Williams slide out flashing, the Williams has 9% left of DRS, so definitely Red Bull has double advantage. But the Williams have DRS too, so it's going to be interesting to see how this battle unfolds. Let's take a look. The Williams manages to come out on top into turn 1, into turn 2. Oh, he clipped the Red Bull. That's unfortunate. Oh my god, that's really heartbreaking for JC. I'm sure the stewards will need to have a look into that incident. That I'm not entirely sure who's at fault there, but I'm sure the stewards will be taking a look at that. As we move on, the Garius back. Is currently in P5 into turn 11. He's trying to catch up to a Wild Maida. So we're getting into the crossover point. So if the Williams have not been able to catch the McLaren, as the laps go by, it gets more and more unlikely for the Williams driver to pull up the move, because the hard compound tires are starting to get quicker and quicker as the laps go by, as you can see there, for the age of everyone's tires. So let's go back into JC to see how he's recovered. So he's still at the points. He gets 3-second penalty right now at the exit of Spoon, but he's still at the points at the least. Let's see. Let's take a look at the remaining of the fights. The Garus fight still being within a second. So we have let's take a look. Oh my god. Shelly the Turtle made a mistake in the Asus and now has a static hazard right at his gearbox. This is the battle for P1 for the race win with 2 laps remaining, fellas. Very interesting stuff. And even if Ray hurries up, we could have a 3-way battle for the lead. So interesting and very exciting end of the race here. We have a yellow flag. It's a Haas driver. He manages to pick it up and will not disturb this battle for P1. Shelly the Turtle manages to pick the pace a little bit, and he's 1 second ahead the Mercedes driver. They go through the detection phone of the DRS. Let's see if the static hazard gets DRS. He probably won't, so that will put him in jeopardy to the Alpine driver who does get the DRS. So let's see what happens. Of course, the Alpine gets quite close to static, as they both are quite low on ERS. As we start the final lap, fellas, this is it. Lap 27 out of 27. So far, Shelly the Turtle is enjoying a 1.3, 1.4 even gap from P2. I think the battle now is for the P2 between Ray in the Alpine and Static Hazard in the Mercedes. Let's see what happens. We do have a fight here between a Wild Maida and the Gary Spec. These guys have been behind each other for, I think, the last 11 laps easily. And the Gary Spec has been behind the McLaren, so I'm sure he's giving it everything to stay or to stay close to him to make the move at the final chicane potentially. We have Ray not giving up, of course, wanting that P2. Let's see if he manages to get close. They both have very little ERS remaining, but the Alpine gets getting close. The Mercedes gets defensive. The Alpine goes wide, but probably could take the better exit. Let's see what happens. It's gonna be a win for the Ferrari. Then the Mercedes is gonna get P2, Alpine P3, the Ray P3. Pretty good race from the fellas. A Wild Meta, I think due to penalties, unfortunately gets into P7. I'm not sure what happened with A Wild Meta there. So the Gary Spack gets P4, Sharia Coleslop gets P5, Canicles P6, A Wild Meta P7, VTech P8. JC is finishing up the race as we get the first drops of water. Probably they will not have any type of effect in this race. Then we have the Alfa Romeo, of Workshops in P9, JC in P10, having that incident back in lap, I think it was 21, 22, somewhere around those lines. Unholy Red Eye, as he gets through the final chicane, he's probably going to secure P11. Let's take a look at the penalties to see if they will be relevant in some way. Probably not. Maybe, let's take a look. Yeah, so Subtle will drop probably to P13 because of his penalty. Yes, that's true. So Chief Braids takes P12, Subtle takes P13, Silent Banshee P14, Saffron is going to take P15, and then Dread in the Mercedes takes P15. So that's the race, fellas. Interesting race here, Division 3, round number 2 in Midwest F1 League, as the Alpine of Ray takes the driver of the day. This is the podium, fellas. So the Ferrari driver of I missed the name. Truly apologize. Let's take a look. So Shelly the Turtle in the Ferrari takes the win. Kudos to him. Static Hazard gets the P2, and then Ray in the Alpine rounds up the podium. Then we have the Gary Swack P4, Sharia Coleslaw P5, Canicles P6, A Wild Made P7, VTech P8, Porkchops P9, JST P10, Unholy Red Eye P11, Chief Braids P12, Subtle P13, 14 gets or comes through the line, Silent Banshee, then Saffron CD P15, Dread Text Message P16, Born Shed P17, Kid Peter P18, Grim Reefer P19, and P20 is the Aston Martin of Guitar Man Can. Exciting race, fellas. This round 2 of Division 3 of Midwest F1 League. Thank you all for joining. I appreciate you sticking with me throughout this race. This has been Elbows Out Racing, bringing the race for all of you. See you for the next one.